Welcome to Be Bold Branding. Today's guest is one of our BrandFace real estate agents from Dover, Delaware. She's been in real estate since 2014, and now she has a bold new brand. Today, we're going to learn all about her brand and why it fits her like a glove. I'm Tanya Eberhardt, founder of BrandFace, where we help real estate agents differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding. We, in fact, are the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.
Hey guys, I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was a client before I became a partner in the company, and we do Be Bold Branding to help you take the fear out of putting yourself out there. And we got a really special guest for you today. Definitely not afraid to put herself out there. We'd like to introduce Jill to the podcast. Hello, Jill. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
No problem. Hey, Jill, tell us, first of all, let's start with how and why you got into real estate in the first place.
Well, there's a few things leading to that. It's something that I had thought about off and on for years, even while I was in my other career. Even as a kid, that was something that I just loved to drive by, houses, wonder what they look like inside, watch the real estate shows that they had on back then. That I don't think they do anymore, where they just showed listings and pictures of the homes. And so I would sit there and watch that. And I was just always interested in the architecture, and in the story that each home provides.
That's really cool. I was always the same way, like architectural and looking at shapes of houses and things like that. Even from a young kid, I've just always enjoyed them. And,
oh yeah, absolutely. So
very cool.
Now here I am.
Yeah, making it come true. Okay. So why did you decide to come into the BrandFace program?
So I remember Tanya asking me like how I found BrandFace, and I remember seeing a YouTube video about it. So somewhere along the way, I was looking at marketing or something, and I guess I got retargeted.
Possibly.
So I just saw your guys' video one day, and I just started looking more into it. And I was like, this is exactly what I need. This is what I've been looking for. I had spent so much time trying to figure out who was I, like how to put that onto paper, but eloquently, and who I wanted to reach out to, what type of client did I want to attract. But I just didn't know. I didn't know how to put it on paper. I didn't know how to really market myself, make myself different from, I think just in my small county, I don't know if we're at like maybe 1,500 agents or something at this time. So how do I make myself stand out? And it was like, this is it. This is exactly what I've been looking for.
Well, as you're coming into it, it can be a daunting task if you're standing back looking at it, right? And you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much involved here. But was there anything specifically that you were afraid of coming into the program?
I would say maybe just at the beginning, before really getting into anything, was who am I? I wasn't really sure, am I really going to have to come up with that as much? Or, is BrandFace going to really pull that together for me? And so I think that was just my main concern. And then very quickly on, though, you realize, all right, BrandFace has got you. They're gonna figure it out.
That's good. That's good.
We're glad you feel that way. Tanya just has the way of making you feel that way anyway. You know what I mean? Because she does. I remember when I first hired her, when I felt the same way. I'm like, she's got this. She knows what she's doing, and she can handle this. So
it comes from a lot of years of people coming to you and saying, hey, I spent so much money with this company over here or this individual over here, and they did not deliver what they promised. And I just promised that I was never going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. we're going to do this, and our entire team of people are going to commit to this and make sure we handhold you through the process.
And you did, by far.
Awesome.
Good. We like that.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Okay, so now let's talk about your brand, right? Tell everybody what your brand identifier is and how it fits you perfectly.
So I am the straight shooter. I know when we were going over my results after filling out the questionnaire to figure out which identifier I really identified with, there was two. It was the straight shooter and the one that's like the compassionate
empowerment agent.
Yeah.
Yep.
and you had said, you really fit both of these, so really like, let's dive into them even more about each one and really see, because I could have went with either one. And then we really decided straight shooter was for me, because even though I'm compassionate and hand holding, I am, always have been, and especially in my career now, I'm very much straight to the point. I don't like a lot of fluff. And I have actually been called a straight shooter many times by people that I work with, whether it be a client or another agent, my friends, people, my family. So it's just really ironic how, you had that identifier. So
it just matched up.
It just was perfect. Yeah.
And the clients love that approach. They just love it because they don't have time to fool around. They don't want anybody giving them a whole bunch of fluff. They really appreciate somebody who says, hey, you know what, you might not want to hear this, but here's what we need to do. Or, let's do this really quickly and we can get to the finish line faster. Whatever that is, it is so appreciated by customers of all walks of life. If you were like some other people out there who are just like, they're so straight to the point, they're very rude about it, right?
Brash or
very brash. Yeah, exactly. We don't want that from you. And I knew from the very beginning we would never have that from you, because you do have this warm and approachable personality that you just like in 5 minutes on the phone. It's just like, I felt like I knew this woman for like a long time, So I knew that you had the ability to pull that off, and it is a bold brand and it just fits you so very well.
It does.
It does. Well, it's so all about managing people's expectations, right? And you have such a great demeanor about that, but yet you're straight to the point, and that to me is a winning combination. Like when I know when I'm looking for people to work with and different, whatever, it might be a project I need done, it might be a contractor I got to work with or something like that. In fact, I had it happen today. I called a lady, I called a company to try to get something done, and she said, she was so nice, but she said, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm booked till May. And I don't want to tell you I can do the job and I can't get it done. But she said, I'm going to try. And at the end of the day, you're going to get 2 texts from me. You're going to get, yes, I can get to it before then, or no, I can't. And I hope you forgive me for both. And I thought, man, are you kidding me? You're on my list for the rest of your life.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. How many people I'm going to have to talk to that are not going to tell me the truth. And
right.
I'm going to have false expectations. And so you fit that so great. From your questionnaire, we knew that right off the bat. We're like, we really like her acumen and the way she does things. And that'll be very attractive to your clients. That deserve the same thing.
They do. They really do deserve that.
Absolutely. They deserve that. Unfortunately, they don't get it a lot, but they can always come to the straight shooter and they'll get it.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
See, exactly right.
See, people, she's owning it already.
Right. There you go.
So, what was the easiest part about going through the branding process, Jill? And on the flip side, what was the hardest part?
So the easiest process was, well, you knew what was going to happen every step of the way. There was no guessing. So you log in and you go on each module, and it was, it couldn't be any more clear what you had to do at that moment and what was going to happen next. It was great, honestly. It was straightforward. So
I told you we'd get along fine.
The hardest part, and I really don't think there was a hard part about any of this process, but if you would say a hard part, maybe just that when you're filling out, I think it's your profile and, trying to answer all those questions so you can determine what would be your best identifier. Maybe some of that, because you had to really get in and say, okay, like I want to help everybody. I can't help everybody, because then I'm not going to, I'm doing them a disservice, because there's not enough time in the day. There's not enough of me. So who do I really want to hone in on? Who do I want to help? Who do I want to attract?
Right. Right. That's very hard. It really is. That's called the positioning questionnaire that helps us position you in your market with your own, attributes and traits and so forth to the right type of customer. So there's a lot involved in that, and I know it's hard. It's hard to do that the first time around. That's really the one and only thing you have to fill out, right? We kind of got the rest of it in interview form. So, but it is, I know I hear that a lot, and, everything positive and and prepping you for the future is going to have to pull something out of you, right? It's going to have to be a little bit of work going into it. So I can totally see how everybody feels like that's hard.
Yes. Yeah.
And it really wasn't that hard either, so don't want to scare anybody off. It's definitely doable. It just, made you think a little bit, but in a good way.
That's good. Yeah, it does make you think. And some of those questions we hear all the times, like, I've never even thought of some of those questions, much less how to answer them for the first time. And it just makes you think. But as we tell everybody when they're coming in, hey, fill it out to the best of your ability. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll take it from there because, we've seen many of them by now. And we're just so glad it worked out to match you up perfectly.
So how does your brand made you bolder? You feel like it's made you bolder?
I do, because, well, I'm owning it, right? So
yep.
Now that I have my brand identifier, I have a logo, which may sound so silly and simple, but I was so excited to have my own logo. I have my own logo, I just feel so, it's just so real, now it's like, wow, this is who I am. This is my logo. I have my marketing materials that BrandFace did, which turned out wonderfully. I definitely stand out now.
Exactly.
Yep.
I leaps and bounds. So when I'm trying to not just work with a buyer or seller, but, go after some of the other, what we call low hanging fruit,
right?
For sale by owners and expires, things like that. Everybody's going after them. And that's one of the big things why I wanted some of this stuff, was to make myself stand out. And what can I do? This is definitely going to make me stand out, for one, by far. And now I can do a lot more marketing that I wasn't able to do, because I just really didn't feel like I had anything great. There was nothing special about me, nothing to make me stand out. And I didn't have the words in black and white to say who I was and what I can do. And now I have all that.
What's interesting is you just said there's nothing special about me. I know there is, right? You've got confidence and you do your job very, very well. But a lot of people do come into the program thinking there's nothing really different about me that like I'm trying to do the same job everybody else is trying to do too. We're all trying to kind of do the same thing here. So how am I going to be different trying to do the same thing everybody else is trying to do in the industry? But as we always say, we don't make stars, we unveil them. You had so much special inside you. We just had to figure out, how do we tell the story? And it's a lot easier looking in from the outside, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Than being inside that. What is that saying?
It's hard to read the label when you're inside the jar.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
Exactly. It has definitely made me, far more confident in now my abilities to really stand out and go after what I've been wanting to go after for so long, but didn't know how to. Yep. And even with having all the marketing and the brand name or the identifier and the logo, just even, going in, say, with a meeting with a FSBO or an expired, just even having that confidence now will exude. I may not even have all the marketing material with me, but I can say who I am and what I do, and just the confidence will be there, making it all that much better.
Yep. It's so true. Like it is a differentiator, right? And we teach that in BrandFace about the importance of that point of differentiation. And now you have that. And you've said some really poignant words just in this last question that will absolutely, you're going to be successful at this, because I hear this, right? Now I've got this, and now I can, and I wanted to, but I didn't know how. Like all of those words are very important. And I now you'll take that and you'll apply that, which obviously is the key ingredient to success, is applying now what you've got. And then that point of differentiation where you can say that, you're going to leave a memorable impression, even to the people that say, not now. right?
Right.
Or it's not, I'm not ready now, or, call back a month later or whatnot. They're not going to forget you because nobody else is going to come to them and approach them with those points of differentiation. Everybody else is coming in. I'm a realtor. I sold this many last year. All those points are important, but they're the same as everybody else is going to say.
Or I'm your Dover real estate specialist, or I'm this community specialist in this neighborhood. It's like, okay, so are the other 5.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, they may not even remember my name. Like you said, a lot of them may, they may not be ready now, but you've got John Smith and, all these other names that you're going to forget. Well, they may not remember my name. Be like, what, she was a straight shooter.
Yep.
Something like that. And they can Google me and I'll come right up, I mean, that's going to be something that sticks out in their mind. So.
Yep, you just nailed it. I mean, you really, Jill, what I love about you is you really get the concept of what a great brand can do. And one of our other quotes is, a great brand doesn't just change the way others see you, it changes the way you see yourself. Yeah. And I've seen that change in you.
Yeah, that's very true.
I have. You came into it with confidence. You knew, hey, I got this. I'm really good at what I do. I really help people. I'm genuine about this. I don't give them fluff. I get them right to the facts. All of that about you was you had it coming in. But there's something really different that happens when you get that logo in the email by email that first day, or you see the first draft of your business card or your spotlight sheet, and some of those things, or your Facebook cover photos, and they all start coming together, and all of a sudden it's just like you said, wow, it's more real now. Because it's more mine. This is my business now. It's like, another one of our agents said not long ago, this feels like a real business to me now.
Yeah.
And that's very true. It does. Yes, exactly.
And then through the program, you've got so many other tools that you can use that other agents just don't bring to the table, and follow-up tools and stuff that will help you a lot. Yeah. And so you're going to be great at answering this question. We ask this question of everybody. There are other business owners and entrepreneurs and real estate pros that are out there right now that are afraid to put themselves out there in the way that you have. What would you tell them about becoming a brand face?
Oh, well, like all the awesome things that, we just talked about, it will just give you the confidence. It will give you direction on what to do now and how to do it. It basically is, it should have been the first piece of the puzzle for me, but really, I think it was the last piece of the puzzle for me. And now it just all fits together. It makes sense. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think probably a lot of agents like myself would come into this after being in it probably for so many years and being somewhat established and knowing who they are, but just not really being able to like what I said, put it down on paper and really identify that and kind of just explain to the world who you are. So, I mean, just do it.
I love it.
We do love it. There is as you said, this probably should have been the first piece of the puzzle for me, but it wasn't. And it isn't for a lot of people because personal branding really has not been in the forefront of real estate until, just the last few years probably. And more so now you're starting to hear everybody talking about personal branding. We call it everybody's jumping on the personal brand wagon, right? Yeah. Everybody is. But there's such a misunderstanding of what that is, and a lot of people think, well, it's as long as I have a logo, I know my brand colors, and maybe have a cool tagline, and I've got my photo out there, I'm branded, right? But how are you branded? You're branded as just another real estate agent unless you differentiate yourself somehow and breathe that brand everywhere and infuse it into everything you do. Then you have a differentiating brand. So you've done so much to set that up today and to explain how, why you came into this and what you're going to take out of it. So I can't tell you how much we appreciate what you have brought to us, Jill. Everybody brings something to us, and you are no different. You're a very special lady, and we are honored to have you in the program. Well,
thank you. I'm glad that somehow I found you on YouTube.
So are we.
It happens like it's supposed to.
It happens sure like does.
It's supposed to. Yeah. I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was up and
Hey, see now as a straight shooter, you'll have your own videos that will be impacting somebody else at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with your brand.
exactly.
So, you know, as we tell people a lot of times, we're going to teach you how to attract your ideal customers, just like we attracted you.
Right.
Yep.
Well, very true. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. And that's what it's all about. So thank you very, very much, Jill.
Yes, thank
Well,
you for being stellar at it too. Because the other
bet.
thing that's worth noting is you did not tarry, like you did not mess around with it. You went after it really good, and you overcame some obstacles while you were doing it, and you've done a fantastic job at that. So I want to pat you on the back because you didn't play around, like, and you got to the back of it. And now you get to reap those rewards and get that thing out there and let it start really working for you. So congratulations on that.
Thank
Also,
you know, excited. I'm just gonna, like you said, I'm just gonna infuse myself into my brand, and people are gonna know that's the straight shooter girl.
I love it.
The straight shooter girl. I love it. Yeah, that brand is you, Jill. And I see your face beaming and your eyes sparkle, and that just does my heart so much good. I love to see it when that happens. You're awesome.
Thank you. So are you and Michael.
Oh, thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, you know, if you have any questions about this, about what we're talking about, because like Tanya said, you know, everybody is jumping on the brand wagon. And, you know, interestingly enough, you know, a lot of people are talking about personal branding, and they're really just marketers. They don't really fully understand like what personal branding really means, right? So if you have any questions about that, if you want to talk about anything branding, like even if you're not even sure you have a brand or what a brand is, or if you think you know everything about it, but you just need it put together, you can go to discussyourbrand.com. We designed this because we know people we love to talk about it, and it is a buzzword, and people are like, hey, what is this thing going on? And you can book a 30-minute session with our staff, free. It's totally free, and we'll discuss branding with you and see where you're at. So discussyourbrand.com. We made that for you guys. Use it, utilize it. We'd love to talk to you about it.
And if you would like to hear more from awesome agents like Jill Watson that we're talking to today, or if you just like everything else that you hear today, we encourage you to please like it, love it, share it, and ding, subscribe, so you can be the first one to know when the next podcast premieres.
Yep. And folks, listen, we talk about it a lot here. And the whole reason that we do what we do is for prosperity. But when we say prosperity here, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about the 360 of an abundant and content life, which is what we want to help you to achieve. And at BrandFace, we know that prosperity favors the bold. So we say, be bold, especially with your brand, just like Miss Jill Watson. And Jill, thank you so much again. Thank you, Miss Tanya, for everything. So.
Thank you, guys. We will see you guys next time on Be Bold Branding.